Hi everyone, and welcome to the Virgo January 2022 Self-Illumination Reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot and Meaning-Based Spiritual Coaching Services. I am Lauren. Hi and welcome. And Happy New Year to everybody. So this reading is meant to help you find the meaning in the challenges you are currently experiencing, so that you have a broader perspective and awareness to what Spirit is asking you to engage with and why, so that you can better understand and see your spiritual, and what I like to say, spiritually important path and purpose. And this is all in an effort for you to be able to really rise up into your highest potential, so that not only do you feel the emotional fulfillment that comes from that and the engagement with that part of yourself in the greater experience that is life, but also so that you help fulfill a need and to be of service to the greater collective human experience. All right, so Virgo, I'm going to go ahead here and I'm going to pick a card. We're going to see a card here for the internal energy that you're currently sitting with for the month of January. And then I'll pick a card that will represent the external environment that Spirit is asking you to engage with, and then we'll take a look at kind of why, the overarching theme and lesson to be learned. So for your internal energy, we have the Three of Cups and the Four of Swords. I'm taking a look now at, get a card here for what's going on in your external environment. So right off the bat, Virgo, I'm getting this feeling with these two cards that there's a little bit of and we have the Seven of Wands for your external environment. And at the bottom of the deck, ooh, Queen of Pentacles, very nice. Okay, so I'm getting at the feeling here that there's a little bit of you taking a pause to reflect on relationships. The Three of Cups can be a card that signifies a friendship group, kind of your tribe, others that you would share your cup of love and emotional fulfillment with. It can also be a card, if this was an individual reading, where there could be a third party indicated in a romantic situation or even in a work situation. But with combined here in a broader sense, in a collective sense, as well as we're looking at this as your internal energy, not as your external energy. So right now you're reevaluating. The Four of Swords, there's a feeling that comes through with the Four of Swords that you're taking a moment to pause and rest, but you're doing so in a mental space, that you are reevaluating the wounds from the past to be able to stand up and be able to walk away refreshed with more clarity as to your own personal truth versus what are the stories of others or the wounds that have been put on you by others that you've kind of carried around with yourself in your mental space. And coupled with the Three of Cups, there's this element around really taking a look, I think, at your emotional connection with others. Where do you feel you belong currently right now with the people that surround you? And there could be this reevaluation going on of maybe equating, I see a little bit of a mirroring element of the Three of Cups with the Three of Swords on the wall above him, which the Three of Swords in the tarot is the card of heartache. And then the One Sword here, which is his sword of truth and clarity. So there's this element here of almost associating your emotional connections with others through this kind of mental space of pain. It's hard for me to kind of explain that, but you're almost, I think, being able to see that now, seeing where you have put your cup out there, almost like wearing your heart on your sleeve to be able to cheers with other people, and where instead of having this beautiful camaraderie or this support, you received a wound. And you're being asked now to step out and engage with the external energy of the Seven of Wands, I think, because it's time for you to start taking action. There's this quality here of you've been in a kind of almost like a mental respite, a little bit of this reflective, meditative time, and in your external environment, the Seven of Wands denotes somebody who is protecting something of their own, standing guard. There is an individual pictured here holding their own staff, fighting, looks like they're fighting or fending off the staffs of others. What I always love in this depiction though is that the person has the higher ground. And there's this feeling in that he has the lay of the land and is able to, even though he only has his one wand, he's able to fight off the wands of others because he is strong in his position. He understands from his own perspective why he wants to protect now what he wants to protect. And so I do feel at this point that in your environment, you may be surrounded by some people who are like that. You may have people in your life who maybe are starting to set boundaries, who are starting to say, this is what I want to do and I'm going to protect it. But there's a quality here for yourself to do that as well. And maybe that is what you've been kind of meditating on, that you've maybe had loose boundaries around relationships previously, and now it's time to go out there and to fight for the ones you really want to keep, or to fight for your own autonomy in your interpersonal relationships. And why do I say that? Because we have the Queen of Pentacles here. The Queen of Pentacles is why you're currently kind of going through this challenge of reevaluating wounds from the past in interpersonal connection, but why you're also being asked now to engage with this element of taking action in defense of what you want to do and perhaps interacting with others who are doing the same, because it's going to allow you to see where to focus your energy. The Queen of Pentacles is a beautiful card. It's a card of Capricorn, which we are in Capricorn season right now, which is wonderful. It's also a card I actually often associate with Virgo as well. It is associated with all the earth signs, Taurus too, but there's this quality here specifically of understanding where to put your energy. It's the Queen holding one pentacle, and she knows what her own time and money and possessions, she knows her value, and she knows where to put her resources. She's not scattered. She doesn't have 100 pentacles around her. She has just one, and she is putting all of, again, her time and energy into that. So there's this quality here of being able to now, after you've had this time of reflection and you're clearing away the stories that are not yours anymore to carry, the hurt and the wounds from the past of failed interpersonal connection. And you're being asked to go out now and step out as who you are and start to defend that. Start to defend something that I think you might want to take action on, but also you're going to be challenged by others who are doing the same. And so I do get this feeling that you're kind of getting prepared to go out in defense now of this kind of new version of yourself, fresh against leaving the wounds of the past behind. And it's going to allow you to better understand, okay, as I'm starting to take action now in defense of myself, in defense of what I'd like, in defense of the boundaries I'd like to put up for myself, that I understand as I'm taking this action, where now, if I'm going to defend it, well, I'm telling myself then, and in showing it to others that I want to defend this, I'm saying it's a value to me. And this is going to be able to clarify what is that one thing that you now need to, especially in Capricorn season. I do find this interesting that this is a card of Capricorn in Capricorn season, which is right now in January. There's just emphasis on understanding where to put your time, your money, your energy, and it's going to be on one thing. It's not going to be scattered. He's not holding 7 wands and fending off one. He's holding his one wand. And it's going to be in an effort to be able to transition to supporting your one pentacle. So let's go ahead, Virgo, and see what are the challenges you're currently facing. I'm going to move these across here. See what's coming up. What are the challenges of kind of coming out of this place of meditation, and maybe a place where you've been kind of sitting with the wounds from the past. And look at this, 7 of Wands comes right up front and center again with strength. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So, and I think now though, it's hard. It's hard to clear away those, what I like to call ghosts of the past. These are the failed relationships. These are even goes way back in time to those times when somebody, it could have been a teacher, it could have been a parent, it could have been a friend, when in your very formative years just said something kind of off the cuff that was negative, and that really that you took to heart, and that it's kind of stuck with you since that time. It could be something like where somebody told you just out of the blue, man, you're such a, you're so lazy all the time. And you just kind of kept that in the back of your mind, like, man, the person said I was lazy. I'm not lazy, but they said I was. Or when a parent just says, oh, you're so bad at math. Good thing you're attractive because you're a terrible student. And so you kind of always just associated yourself with being stupid. And you felt that you always had to identify with being pretty, or you had to identify with being in a relationship because somebody once told you were worthless if you weren't in one. There's all kinds of strange wounds we carry with ourselves that echo in our own heads around, again, that come between an interpersonal connection between us and someone else. And it can be difficult. It can be really difficult to get away from those, even though we can rationalize as we get older, like, oh, I was younger and I've changed, or oh, that person didn't really know me, or my mom is crazy, or whatever it is, that those wounds still hurt. We still will hear that person's voice in our head, and that can be very difficult. So Virgo, I see right off the bat, we have Seven of Wands again, mirrored with the Seven of Wands here. We have Strength, we have Two of Cups, the Empress, and Four of Pentacles. So there is this quality coming through front and center of knowing what to defend. The Seven of Wands too is a great card because I always see the sevens in the tarot as a time for us to be able to pause, reconnect with spirit, and in doing so reevaluate something in our experience with spirit's help, with spirit's guidance. So with the Seven of Wands, there's this quality of actually kind of sitting and taking stock of everything. And wands specifically correlate to passion, they correlate to the actions taken, they can correlate to inspiration, creation. So there's this quality here of being able to, okay, maybe you do have a lot of passions, maybe you do have a lot of inspiration, maybe there's a lot of action that you feel you could take, but there's this moment here where, again, he's only defending himself with his one wand. So it's almost like it's time for you to sit with spirit for the month of January, which is a great month to sit with spirit because this is a month that is a 7 universal month, and it really asks us to connect with spirit. The number 7 in general is a number of spiritual connection, and so there's this quality here of just kind of sitting back before you start to make the move and reconnect to spirit. Ask for guidance, and what if you had to only defend one thing and go for it 100%, what is that going to be? Because you're going to need the strength. It's not easy to go up against other people, especially when every other person out there has their own wand. And depending on how many people you're fending off, it's now, you're going to be there with your one wand, and there's going to be X amount of people in front of you with their one wand. So it takes strength to be able to go out there and defend it. Now in the middle, we have the Two of Cups. The Two of Cups is a card of interpersonal connection. It is the card of being able to match your cup with another's cup. What does that mean? Equal partnership, deep connection. You being full on your own and understanding what's in your cup, what you bring to the table, so that you're able to see and have that honored in another, that you know your value. There's an element here of knowing your value on an emotional level and allowing yourself to be able to connect with people who are on equal footing with you. Because we then have the Empress after that. So there's this beautiful progression here of the main challenge is I don't know what I want. I don't know. Getting out of your head from the wounds of the past to be able to have the strength and courage to stand behind a conviction. Where am I going to take action? Where am I going to follow this passion? But being able to have the strength, I think there's one part of yourself that perhaps you've been kind of pushing aside, or maybe you've been too afraid to go after. Or you've been too afraid to speak up and say, this is what I really want to do. And there's this quality coming through here of saying, it's going to take strength. But if you connect with the right people, forget this, forget the wounds of the past. When surrounded by the right people and connecting with the right people, you're going to be able to step into the Empress position of being able to create basically anything. The Empress is the card of creation. It's the reminder that all of us have the ability, when we work with spirit, to literally create for ourselves and manifest what we want to. But then the last part of your challenge here is the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is the safety zone card. That is the card of, okay, I have my Four Pentacles. I have my stability here. It might not be a lot. It's not the Ten of Pentacles. It's not like the ultimate, what I would love to achieve for myself in the physical world, but it's stable. It's four. I have one for each hand and one for each foot, and I'm good. And in reality, as we all know, fortune favors the bold to a certain extent. And when this card comes up, that's a card of understanding that you're holding back in the physical. This is where we know we might have to invest some money in something. This is where we have to say, well, I keep talking about the house that I want, but now I actually have to put the money down towards it. Or this is where you keep talking about, stepping up into something and taking that class that's going to elevate you to the next level, but you actually have to sign up and pay for that class and put time and energy towards that. That's also part of the pentacle world, the physical, the tangible is your time. So there's this element here of understanding that in order to birth something, you have to also be willing to invest something and to let something go, to understand that there's always a cost. Nothing is ever created from nothing. I know it's a hard concept because to a certain extent, a lot of world religions talk about the birth of everything coming from nothing. But in reality, there's more of that feeling of there's always been everything, the potential for everything. And so it's not that nothing is coming from, or something's coming from nothing. It's that something is coming from the something that's always been, which is a hard concept for us to even conceptualize. But here, in understanding the world that we live in and the universe that we live in, there is this quality of, yes, you can create something, but you have to actually create it from something. So you're going to have to sacrifice a little, invest a little, and whether that's time, energy, or money, or whether that's even stepping towards a new, let's say you say, I really want to start this business, but I know I can't start this business effectively staying at a job where I'm working 50 hours a week, but I need the money, I'm clinging to that money. Well, this is that time where maybe it's time to assess how you can arrange something differently in your life to allow you for X amount of time to live on a much smaller income, to be able to chase a dream, to defend a decision. Or again, this could be making that final decision to, I want to create for myself the home environment of my dreams. Well, now it's time for you to put that down payment on the house. But the progression here is going from the Three of Cups back to the Two of Cups, which I think is beautiful. It's not about you and everybody else. It's about you and knowing what's in your cup as you move from this meditative space, so that you only are bringing in the one person here and the one person there and the one person here that matches what's in your cup. And that's going to give you the strength and the stability to be able to step fully into this creative space, to be able to then have the clarity of saying, well, if I could create anything for myself based off of something that I really want to take action towards. Well, if I could create anything, what is that going to be? And what am I going to put towards that? And as you clarify that for yourself in the month of January, that's when you'll know. That's where I have to put my time, energy, and money towards. And this is the risk. This is the investment I'm going to have to make. This is the sacrifice. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull Three final cards down here for the concept of curiosity, courage, and contemplation. And we're going to engage the Triad of Engagement, which is what I call working with these three principles, to take what's a very general message and ground it into an individualized message for you. So we're going to kind of give you some things to work with here that you'll be able to, questions you can ask yourself and things to keep in mind so that you can better bring awareness to something that is specific to you that Spirit would like you to know for this month. So I'm going to pull a card here for the concept of curiosity. And if you think about it, curiosity generally involves a question. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be building a question around the card that comes out, or the cards. I think there's two here. Oh, beautiful. Oh my goodness. What very synchronistic cards that came out. So we're going to build a question around the energies of these cards to be able to have you ask this question periodically throughout the month of January of yourself, to allow Spirit to come in and bring awareness in the form of an answer that's going to help kind of unlock, again, this whole where do I put my time and energy towards. So we have Woman Holding a Heart, number 44, which breaks down to a number 8, but 44 is a beautiful angelic number. And then we have fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael, which the fourth chakra is the heart chakra, number 38, breaking down to number 11. 44 and 11, two very powerful numbers. Right off the bat, there's a theme of love coming through here. We have the Two of Cups, and we have this kind of thinking about the Three of Cups, and there's this quality of, I think, realizing to a certain extent where you have been wounded in a heart space, in your connections with others, in the theme of love, and where perhaps there needs to be healing. Because we all have a heart. And what I love with the Four of Swords is there's this quality that he's removing the Three of Swords, the three swords from his heart, the three wounds that in the traditional depiction of the Three of Swords in the Rider-Waite Tarot is a heart with the three swords sticking out of it. So there's this quality of him pulling those swords out, leaving them on the wall, and walking away from this time of respite with just his sword, not the three swords of others. So I would ask yourself this question along the theme of love. Where have you held yourself back from choosing partnerships? Because that's really what I feel is coming through here. Choosing partnerships that honor who you are. Choosing to interact with others and choosing to put yourself in situations with others, because the Three of Cups can also be social situations. This could even be work situations, anywhere where you're around other people in an environment where you're all together. And there's this quality here coming through of this question of where have you not been honoring yourself, honoring what's in your cup, honoring the love that the divine has for you as a unique singular being. And where have you been kind of squandering that? Where you've been watering it down, where you've either been giving too much of it to others and they in turn are withholding their cups from you and not giving, or vice versa, where perhaps maybe you have tried to bring your cup into places that it's not being matched by others, meaning that you're trying to be in social situations or work situations or even just individual interpersonal connections that don't match who you are. That you might be allowing yourself to stay in unfulfilling relationships on all levels because of the wounding of the past. So I'd ask yourself that question. Where have you been bringing your cup, your love, who you are as a divine individual into situations that are not deserving of what's in your cup? And I'd also think about with number 44 and the number 11. There's a quality coming through of opening a divine portal. The number 11 I always look at as the kind of the doorway between us and what what are the possibilities of us? It's like the ultimate potential of if you walk through with spirit, what the world could be. And with the number 44, that is the number of the angelic realm of healing, of creating stable foundations through the energy of love. And I think that's what you're being asked to kind of look forward to now, is just like the Queen of Pentacles here, it looks almost like she's nurturing this one pentacle like it's a child, like she's putting all of her love and her time and her energy towards it. Well, if you were to look forward through a portal and through the energy of love, the love that you have within yourself and the love that you have for others, well, what would you love to have to create? What is it that you'd love to be able to take action towards to create as you step through the door with spirit in a world where your love counts? And I think that might help clarify what you want to support here. Okay, now I'm going to choose one additional card here. I'm not one additional, well, actually, this is the second to last, and choose one card for the concept of courage. And courage, this is going to be a message to keep in mind as you have the courage to make the tough decisions and take the more difficult actions this month. And what do I mean by that? I mean, life is created in the small decisions, small everyday decisions. Our reality is formed in those. So in the tiny decisions like, am I going to get up that 30 minutes early today and every day from now on to sneak in that workout that I told myself I was going to start doing because I want to feel better and healthy in my body? Am I going to choose to only eat one cookie instead of 2 cookies after dinner tonight? Am I going to put away my computer for work at 5 o'clock when I told myself I was going to start doing that so that I can build in a half an hour of meditation time or be able to cook dinner with my family? So it's all of these little decisions that we find ourselves sometimes shirking the responsibility of doing. And with courage, this is where we're going to have the courage to make those tough decisions that we know are within our best interest, for our best interest, and our little decisions that unlock our highest potential. And you have a beautiful message here to keep in mind. With each time you feel like I don't want to make that decision, keep this in mind. Surrender to your soul's path. Your life's journey has been perfectly designed for your soul's growth. Embrace every lesson and every moment. And I think that's beautiful. There's a quality here with the 7 of Wands coming up of he knows. He knows he has to defend this. He knows because of his connection with spirit that he knows this is part of me. This is my wand of eternal flame. This is my soul. I have to support this. I have to defend this. I have to go out and work with it in the world. And unfortunately, because everybody else has their own wand, not everybody is going to understand that. And so I have to be the one strong in my own self as they are being strong in the defense of theirs and the utilization of their passions and actions. So there's this quality here of each time you feel like, I don't know if I really want to do that. I don't know if it's meant for me. I don't know if I want to invest. I don't know if I can because I don't feel like I've ever been supported before. It's time for you to step fully on your path with awareness. I like to say that we're never off our path. It's just that we stop being aware that our path continues forward. We get stuck in these places where we don't see a way to move forward, and so we feel that we're just not on our path. And in reality, we're choosing to stay in a blind spot, so to speak. And when you surrender to your destiny, what you were designed to do, there's this quality of once again realizing, this is my path. I'm on it. Here it is again. I see it. I see the magical way forward that I didn't see before. So keep this in mind. This is meant to be. You just have to have the strength to honor yourself and to be able to attract the people that really Attract the people and the relationships that honor who you are as well. All right. And so for the final card here, we're going to pull this for the concept of contemplation. And contemplation is where we take personal responsibility for the consequences of the actions and the decisions we chose to take and make. Meaning, in contemplating, we are bringing awareness or reflecting. Okay, what did I do and what happened? And this will be basically something to keep in mind as you reflect at the end of each day, and as you reflect over the whole month of January, really holding this theme that will come up with this card against everything that's happened. So this is kind of the underlying message that Spirit really wants you to understand and hear here. What does Virgo need to know about the month of January and the larger overarching theme that they need to keep in mind and hold themselves accountable to? So this is also a theme where when you start to take a look at, okay, these are the consequences of my actions, if they don't really seem to be in alignment with this message, then there's something that perhaps you need to kind of reevaluate for yourself. Oh, so many cards. I'm going to take them all. So there's, I think, four cards. We have Mirror. Who or what is triggering you? We have Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. Double confirmation here. We have Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? And we have Council of Light. Divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. Again, that divine orchestration, divine design that's coming up through here now multiple times. So I think there's this, between all of these, who or what is triggering you? That's a great thing to keep in mind, because often when we are triggered by others, it's because they're actually mirroring something within ourselves. So for instance, you might find somebody very annoying in your current situation and realize that what annoys you about them is actually something that you do to others in different circumstances. Now, this could be something like you think this person is really, this person never thinks about other people when you are in their presence. So you go out to eat and they're the one who says, well, I don't want to go there, I want to go here. And you're like, okay, we'll go wherever everybody else wants to go, and inside you're like, this guy's such a jerk. Every time I'm around this person, they're the ones who are always trying to change everybody else's plans for them. But in reality, is that something you also do yourself? And it may not be in that same environment. You might not care what you eat, but it may be totally different in maybe where you work. Maybe when people are like, okay, well, do we want to do this date for the work meeting or this date? And you're like, oh, no, I have this going on, I have this going on. It has to be this date. People are like, oh, okay, well, we'll try to accommodate you. And it's time to kind of, I think, bring awareness to some aspect of yourself again that's out of alignment with your interpersonal connections, to really understand what is triggering you and why, and how can you adjust that within yourself to be able to, again, attract more of the people that you want to attract around you, and to be more of the person that you want to attract, or be more of the person that you want to be. Now, I see here your guidance is divinely guided, and divine orchestration, helpers in the soul realms. There's this reminder here from Spirit that yes, it's going to be scary. It takes strength to connect with people on a deeper level and in a newer way, and in a more of an authentic way. I also look at this kind of as, here you can kind of get lost in the crowd of, maybe you feel like an outsider, maybe you feel like you're not being honored or you're not connecting, but at least you're just one of a few. When it's just you and another person and you connect on that deep level and you actually get a chance to see what's in their cup and they get a chance to see what's in your cup, that's a deep spiritual bond. Whether this is with a romantic partnership, whether this is with a familial partnership, this can even be in a work relationship. But there's this quality that comes through of understanding that it's going to take strength to fight for something you want, but the right people will match you when the time is needed. You will have the support that you need. And it's time now to kind of get clear on that. Get clear on who you are. Get clear on getting ready to have these strong bonds, these strong connections. And when it says, how can you mother yourself? That lines up beautifully with the Empress, because the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles both are kind of mother archetype cards in understanding how can you mother you? You may be the one who possibly Virgo, especially because Virgos are always about healing and helping and being of service. There might be this quality to your experience where maybe you are always stepping into the mother role for others. And it's now time for you to bring that energy back to yourself so that you can be the strong mother who knows where to put her time and energy, and she knows what to support. She can be the strong mother who can create, who literally can take two things and make a child or manifest a artistic creation. So it's really kind of coming back to this feminine wisdom, this feminine power, even if you are masculine, of understanding that we can all step into the mother archetype. And it's time now for you to understand that you are worth the investment, and that what you've been kind of kicking around and realizing about yourself is part of your personal singular destiny. And it doesn't matter that others might not be able to understand that or see that. Again, I love this depiction that there's all these other wands, and he has his one wand. And that's a depiction too, and the reminder that we all have our own unique soul, our own singular purpose, our own wand, our own eternal flame. And that it's different from all others, even though we're connected through spirit to each other. We all have our own unique perspective, our own unique place to fill. And I think you really need to hear that, Virgo. And that just because others might not understand what you want to do, and that they also might be saying, well, I want to do this, well, that's good for them. They are allowed to do that. So you can allow somebody else to be able to be who they are, take action in the way they want to take action, but you must be authentic to yourself and take action and defend the things that you want to defend and take action towards. And that's going to ultimately bring an authenticity to who you are, and that will attract the right people to you, the unions of another. You bring your cup, and I like that there's kind of this quality of, I've seen it come up now in a few readings for this month, of temperance, of tempering fire and water, which is wands and cups. That there's this element of grounding the action we want to take into the emotional space, having an emotional connection to what we do and why, and not letting that emotional connection just kind of go by the wayside. Instead, realizing we can't experience emotional fulfillment unless we are emotionally connected to what we do. And there's a little bit of that coming through, and that maybe you kind of thrown that away by getting distracted by others. And you've kind of, I think, maybe gone away from what is yours and what is another's. And this month is about going back, reconnecting to your own spiritual connection, and understanding what is yours. What is in your cup emotionally, what emotionally fulfills you as a unique individual. What are the stories of you, like what is your own truth versus the truth that others maybe have imposed on you. And then as you get the courage to step out to create, to realize, yes, it's going to require some type of sacrifice. Again, we can't create something from nothing. There does have to be something that gets transmuted, or something that's used to create the new. And you'll know what that is if you stay strong and you really connect with that energy of love and understand where have you been selling yourself short. And where can you step into that energy now? All right, Virgo, this has been a very powerful reading, as actually most of them have been for this month. I think this month as a start to a really interesting, beautiful year, which is all about actually spiritual connection. It's a 6 universal year. 2022. So it's all the twos added up together. And there's this overall general theme of working together, of honing our interpersonal connections, of coming from a place of love to better actually grow and build foundations for spiritual service. So it's gonna, it sounds beautiful, right? But that can also be very difficult as we're going through that, because it's heart healing. It's all those, and we all have them. There's not a single person walking this earth that doesn't have a wound that has pierced their heart at some point. And it's very difficult to heal those internal wounds. But the beauty of it is when we accept them and we are aware of those wounds and we can see the scars and are proud, just like somebody who maybe has a scar on their arm from the time when they broke their arm, but it was doing something they loved. Like maybe that was the first time that they ever tried to do a double vault jump in gymnastics and they broke their arm, but they survived. They're still able to this day to still do gymnastics because the bone healed. And now they have a cool story to tell others. And a lesson learned. Hey, don't put all your weight on this hand. Put it on both, whatever it is. That's kind of what I'm getting a feeling here for you and for all of us moving into this year, is that we're going to have to become aware of those wounds that stop us from having a whole heart, of stepping into the full energy of love, and then heal them, see the scars and be proud of them. That when we talk about the wounds of our past, we're doing it from a place of empowerment to better allow us to not only empower others to do the same, so that we can all work together as a collective to build in effort towards some type of spiritual service, but also so that you get to show others how far you've come. You get to show the growth you've had. You get to share. What's interesting is I made a comment in talking to one of my friends recently. I have a friend who made a comment of gosh, look at how much has happened just since we've met each other a few years ago in our lives. And I said, that's what the interesting thing about having that type of really deep connection with somebody, of having a friendship, why we choose to have friends or other people around and close to us, is because we have that beautiful shared passage of time. And you're able to look back and honor what somebody else has gone through and be able to hold that up in context to what you've gone through. And there's this beautiful kind of ability to see more, have a broader perspective of time in general, of our own personal experiences combined with the experiences of others. And I think, Virgo, that's really a beautiful message for you to take away from this month, is to understand that you are an individual among others, and that you can live your own unique experience and kind of do what you want to do while also letting others do what they want to do. So you can release others. You don't have to perfect another or tell another that they have to change, because that can be kind of a darker attribute of the Virgo mindset of, well, I'm perfect and others are not, and so I have to stay and fix them. I have to mother them until they are. And no, you don't. You don't have to mother another. You have to mother yourself. Mother yourself to attract the people who are perfect for you. All right, Virgo, I hope you have a fantastic January. If you would like to take a deeper dive into your own path and purpose and meaning behind some of the challenges you're going through right now, you can click on the link below in the description box to book a private reading or a one-on-one coaching session. And otherwise, I will see you in the month of February. Bye.